Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and it's been an awfully wet week this week, but I want to try to get a garden video in before the frost hits. So I'm going to try to get it done tonight. It's been kind of off and on rain, so we'll see how far I get. And I want to just say too, if this is your second, third time watching our videos and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so below. I think that there'd be a lot more enjoyable videos coming your way, so make sure you subscribe so that you won't miss a video. Let's turn this around and take a look at what we got. So per the usual, we're going to start off here in the front yard. And one thing that you're going to notice that's different between the August video and the September video is I have done some fall transformation. So we've removed all those Vista bubblegum petunias and we've replaced them with garden mums. And I've also switched out my aqua pots and I've put some garden mums in those as well, along with some kale and then some lobularia, that's Snow Princess, and then a couple osteospermums and a few pansies are in there as well. So kind of a fun colored fall arrangement. I think it looks really nice with that cobalt blue pot as well. So we did leave this aqua pot here with the Diamond Mountain and the fern in it. That's still looking pretty nice, and as long as it continues to look nice, we're going to leave that because I don't know, it adds a different look besides mums everywhere. So we're going to leave that one. Also, I left the hanging baskets because normally by this time of year, I'm so ready to get rid of them. Like they're ugly and just not looking good. But this year, these baskets have done absolutely amazing. And I just could not bear to part with them yet. So the baskets will stay as long as they continue to look good. And if we get a frost and they start to take a turn south, well, then I'll get rid of them and I'll put some mums in. But for now, these baskets are staying because for the end of September in our Zone 5 garden in Michigan here, these look amazing. So down here around the water fountain, which is not running, we did put the mums, and then we also put some desert plain grass in the background there. I just like to add a little bit of height. And so those are just sitting down in that pot. They'll get pulled out once they start to go dormant. And then for the winter, we'll put something else in there, maybe an evergreen or something. In the aqua pots on either side of the entrance, I kind of carried that mum theme. And then we also put some grape punch super bells in there. We want to see how those do. And then we have a little artemisia, some aster. And then we did tuck a perennial in the back here. This is Heuchera. And so that's just something for foliage interest. And it looks really nice with that fall color. So 2 matching pots, those are both the aqua pots again. Self-watering planters, they get filled once a week, and the plants just continue to feed off of the moist soil that's in that pot. In front of the window here are the Bobo Hydrangeas, and they are pretty much past peak. So we leave the blooms on because they look nice in the winter, but really there's not a whole lot of color. There's a little color, but not a whole lot of color going on there. One thing I do want to show you though is our proudberry bush is proudberrying. I don't know, but that's kind of fun to say. Anyways, look at this bush. So beautiful kind of bubblegum pink berries. The birds love these, and this bush is just loaded with them. So this just started to bloom here in the last couple weeks, and here's a bunch of berries that haven't colored up yet, but you can see how these stems are just covered from tip to all the way in there with buds or berries. So this is just one of those different unique plants that certainly most people probably, if I had to guess, haven't really heard of or seen before. So if you're looking to add something different and interesting in the shrub family, this proudberry bush is something to take a peek at. They don't get very tall, only about 3 foot, maybe 4 foot tall, and also wide. So not a very big footprint that plant requires, but it's definitely unique and different looking. As we take the corner here, this is a lilac standard that needs to be trimmed, but I'm not going to trim it because I won't have blooms next spring if I do trim it. So hopefully we have time next spring to get this baby trimmed back because it's ginormous now. Underneath it are the Anna's Magic Ball arborvitaes, cute little small evergreen balls. So that's about the only thing in my yard that is evergreen. As we take the corner, we also replace the petunias that were here with more garden mums. Oh, here at the back side of this proudberry. Look at that, just loaded All these beautiful berries. The hydrangea here is Firelight, and this has looked really nice since about July. And these blooms here are really holding their color nicely. There's still a pretty nice shade of kind of that pink. They really haven't gone too brown. So the Firelight is looking really quite nice yet. As we head down the hill, these are Bobos, and they do not look good. The problem with these is they did not get enough water. So definitely make sure you water your plants well, or you're gonna have brown, ugly looking shrubs, and that's definitely what's happened here. This is Pugster Blue, and you can see there's a lot of spent blooms on there, but it's still kicking out blooms end of September, so it adds a little bit of color into the garden. In the back there is another hardy hydrangea. That one kind of went from white to it's going to brown, so it's really not coloring up very nice. I think that one's Little Lamb. Let's see here. More hydrangeas. This one here is again a Bobo. We might see a rainbow tonight. The sky is really kind of crazy how it's been raining and sun shining lately. This one here is the Invincible. I think this one was Blush. And again, fall color. This was blooming in July with its beautiful pink blooms, but now they're just kind of that lime green color. We're gonna cut through here a minute, step on a few plants because my neighbor's tree is crowding me. All right. Ooh, birds in there. Better than other critters. So this here is the blue chip butterfly bush, and that's still got quite a lot of nice color on it. All this diamond, this is Euphorbia Diamond Mountain. This is still doing really nice. We haven't gotten a frost here yet in Michigan, so pretty much things are still looking good and not looking, damaged by frost at all. Hostas are getting a little bit cold for them, so you're going to start seeing some yellows and browns happening on some of those. But for the most part, most of the things still look pretty good. Coleus Wicked Witch looks amazing. That's beautiful. Alstroemeria Inca Inca Ice. This is one plant. This thing is huge. This is like my favorite perennial in the garden because one plant blooms from May till like a good hard frost, and you can keep cutting on this thing all summer long for cut flowers. They last up to 2 weeks in the house, so that's a great perennial. Tucked back in here, there's some more Coleus, and then the hydrangea you're seeing up against the house there, that is the little Firelight. That's not what it's called. It's not even Firelight, never mind. Little Quick Fire, that's what it is. So this is Little Quick Fire, and that's got really pretty color. This is on the east side of the house, so it doesn't get it only gets about half the day of sun. So for half the day of sun, I think it's still doing pretty good. We'll take a look here. I'm gonna show you the sky. I mean, it's so dark, but yet it's bright in spots. So who knows, we might just see that rainbow yet. Underneath the deck here, mostly all just hostas, along with some, let's see here, Stilby, that's kind of done, some Rebecca, that's kind of done. But you can see how the hostas are really kind of getting a little weathered looking. Stilby there, all brown. Clematis is starting to yellow up. This is all perfectly normal for this time of year. So now close your eyes. There's a lot of weeds. Don't look at the weeds. No judgment here. Up against the window there is that is Wee White, Hydrangea Wee White. So that was in July when that was looking really nice. In front of it we have Lantana planted. Those are still flowering, looking pretty good. Polka dot plants giving us some color, as well as the lemon coral sedum. Petunias are still holding in nice. Paradise and Snowdrift. In the back there's a little bit of Diamond Mountain and some Gara. Some Salvia in here. Some Cleome. This is Senorita Rosalita, still flowering nicely, but it is starting to get a little yellow, so kind of getting cold for it. Sedum lining the path, still looking good. Another thing too, these osteos. This is osteo, the moon glow. This was blooming all summer long, even in the heat of the summer. And then now in the fall, as it cooled off a little bit, this just really kicked in and really is putting on another show of blooms. Here's another one. Actually, this one's even better. So osteos that last through the summer. That's pretty impressive. Along the barn there are mini mauvettes. Then you can also see some purple in there. That's purple Rockin Deep Purple Salvia. So that's looking really pretty. I saw a hummingbird a couple minutes ago. So the hummingbirds are still around here in Michigan. I wasn't sure if they still were here or not, but I have seen a couple. We'll head over to this little garden here. And in this garden, this just continues to be super impressive. I mean, the New Guineas, the sun patiens, the red sun patiens, fabulous, like 24 inches tall and about 24 inches wide. My Monet Wagila in there is kind of getting crowded out, but that's doing really nice. You can see tucked in there is Heuchera. I think that one's wildberry. And then our limelight tree is looking pretty nice, coloring up nicely. Here we've got the bloomerang dwarf purple. It's not blooming, but you can see, we'll go in, you can see all these little buds, or actually those aren't buds, but those are spent blooms. And this thing was blooming throughout the summer. So that's what's unique with those bloomerang lilacs, is they're repeat bloomers. So they'll have their first spring flush of color, which is really impressive. But then throughout the summer, they continue to kick out blooms. So you'll have flowers kind of throughout the summer. Now, your first bloom cycle is your best, but to have a lilac that blooms all summer, that's pretty impressive. We also have the Atlas rose, which is done blooming. You can see all the rose hips there starting. Oh, here's this dwarf purple bloomerang with a little bit of a flower left on it. So that way you can see that I am telling the truth. This does bloom throughout the summer. We're going to head down to the butterfly garden and take a look at what's going on in here. So butterflies, hummingbirds, most of the plants I have in here are kind of planted, you know, with trying to attract those butterflies and hummingbirds. We got the cone flowers up front here, totally done blooming, but the birds will come and eat the seeds, so we'll leave those seed heads on for a while. This garden is lined in white sun patiens, and they're still holding on pretty good. We've got the Bobo Hydrangea. So for some reason, this one is like really kind of yucky looking. Like it didn't color up very nice. The one next to it did better. This is Miss Molly butterfly bush. See beautiful kind of magenta blooms. This is Bobo as well, and you can see this one is doing much better as far as the color. So I don't know, you never know. Plants sometimes have a mind of their own and do things at different paces, I guess. Over on this side of the butterfly garden, there is the more coneflowers, because it's kind of a mirrored look thing. And then look at that Rockin Blue Suede shoes, Salvia. That is amazing right now. Loaded with blooms. Really fresh looking plant. It's about 3.5 foot tall, so really tall as well. Behind it is the Wagila Sonic Bloom Pink. And let's see if I can go in here. And this is also a rebloomer, and you can see how there's some flowers there. This one blooms in the spring and then goes through about 3 bloom cycles. Now, this right now is a pretty weak bloom cycle, but it's the end of September. But this went through 3 legit nice bloom cycles throughout the summer. So if you're looking for a Wagila that reblooms, the Sonic Bloom series, check it out. Another of the blue suede shoes Salvia here. And we've got the Rockin Fuchsia. So this shows you Rockin Fuchsia next to the blue suede shoes. Fuchsia is only about half the size of the blue suede shoes. So keep that in mind if you're going to use them as a thriller and a planter. Blue suede shoes gets pretty big. We've also got some sun-credible sunflowers in here. There's a hummingbird on that kufia. Let's see if we can see them. Kufia is a great hummingbird plant. So this one here is Vermillionaire. He's kind of hiding down in there right now, so we can't see him. So I'm hoping he'll kind of come up on top. I'm going to try to move in. Oh yeah, I see him. They're so quick when they go flying off, so I don't want to scare them too bad. Because I really want to show you the hummingbird because they're so fun. But you can see the movement on the flowers. I'm surprised he hasn't flown off yet. Woo! Oh, he's perching. See him perching on there? What a pretty little guy. So exciting when I actually get to get them while I'm doing a video. So hopefully you find this as exciting as I did. We'll let him go and get back at feeding. So we had left off here with the Incredible sunflowers, and they bloom virtually all summer long. Well, they do bloom all summer long. We haven't deadheaded them or anything. They just continue to go. So you cannot go wrong with Incredible sunflowers. There's another of the Rockin Fuchsia Salvia down there. And again, Kufia Vermillionaire. It's kind of I use it as kind of a filler plant because it's really, you can't see it super great from a distance, but it's definitely, if you're going to do a butterfly garden, you want to have Vermillionaire in your garden because, well, you saw the hummingbird on it, and it's definitely a plant that brings the hummingbirds to the garden. You can see here the sun patients are getting a little bit nasty, so they might have gotten cold. This is kind of a little bit of a, I don't know, a dip in the garden, so it probably got a little bit of cold, and that's probably affected them. A beautiful sun patient there tucked in, kind of a different looking one. With the variegated leaves and the hot pink flowers. We've got a tall phlox there in the middle. That was blooming really early in the season, so it's reblooming right now. So it's kind of neat to see just a few of those flowers that have come back. Every butterfly garden needs to have Escalapias. So Escalapias is the host plant for the monarch butterfly. This one here is, you know, not looking great because it's done, but it did its job this summer. I found caterpillars on it, and the monarchs, you know, going on it, laying their eggs and stuff. So you got to have Escalapias if you are, you know, wanting to have like a true butterfly garden. In the background there is the Firelight Hydrangea, and that, if I had to choose one plant, I don't know, Bobo is pretty good. Like, I have a lot of Bobo. But for color right now, Firelight is definitely like what's stealing the show here out in the gardens. It's really clean. You can see those bright magenta blooms. So definitely this is what's catching my eye, especially from the house, is the Firelight Hydrangea. One thing I will point out is in a lot of advertisements for Firelight Hydrangea, it just shows it at this stage. So I want to point out when this starts to flower, it starts off white. And as the flowers age, they turn to this bright pink. So, I mean, there's a little flower that, I mean, that's a very small one, but it starts off white and then, you know, kind of goes a little pinkier and then it gets redder. So do know that this goes through flowering stages, starting off white to get to this beautiful red color. All right, let's head back to the corner here where the hostas are. So if you watch my videos before, you know, we don't have a lot of shade here in this garden. So this is kind of my shade spot, and we utilize it quite well by tucking in every single hosta that we've ever carried. And it's a whole mix of plants. So I like to do this because with the hostas, different colors, different textures of leaves, some are more rippled, some are big, some are small. I think this is almost one of the best ways of showing hostas is by planting a lot of different ones together, because then they really kind of highlight one another. So you can see in here all the different sizes, colors, and textures. As we take the corner, it gets a little bit sunnier, so the plants kind of start to change a little bit. There still is quite a bit of hosta in this area, but we've also added in some astilbe. There's some bleeding heart in here. You can see the red, those are all caladiums, and The caladiums are definitely getting cold because they're flopped flat on the ground. So they got too cold. We have a couple hellebore in this area. Some Heuchera, which will give, color, or corbels. A lot of weeds. Alstroemeria is this beautiful pink flower. And again, that's one that blooms all summer long. And you'll notice on this flower bed, we have it lined with sun patience. So that looks really pretty from up from the house. Just kind of creates that bold border. In the background there is the wicked Hat Coleus. That also looks really nice from the house, which is about 200 foot away. It really stands out in this garden. I mean, there's a lot of green going on, but that wicked Hat looks really nice from up from the house. The anemone are blooming right now. This is Fall in Love Sweetly. And I mean, really, that's about the only flower color I have back here. Like, that's like a fresh flower color, is that anemone, the Fall in Love Sweetly. Behind it is, I think that's the Golden Dreams Coleus, so that also is looking pretty nice. Hostas, you can see, are getting cold. More anemone with the Golden Dreams. Some corbels. Allium Millennium are actually, I think this is actually Serendipity. That's done flowering, but looks kind of cool with those little balls up there. More of the Wicked Witch Coleus. Wicked Hat. There's some polka dot plant mixed in here. And hostas giving bright splashes of kind of chartreuse color. In the back there is incredible blush hydrangea, which was blooming in July. And now it's just kind of the spent blooms. But it gives a little extra texture. And even though they're kind of, well past their prime, they're still holding that lime color, which I think is nice. I might trim them back though once they start going brown, because I don't know. Sometimes that brown just doesn't look very good. This batch here is my daylilies, which daylilies are a summer thing. Definitely not a fall thing, so they're kind of looking like fall. The little waterfall pond area, these sun patient purple, they're still doing really nice. Those look really good. Little lime hydrangea by the shed there, looking pretty amazing as well. Way up there in the back, that's Limelight. Little lime in front. And then I want to just show you this Rebecca here. This is Henry Ehlers. It's kind of a funky, fun one. This is one we don't carry anymore. We used to carry it. But the problem is it gets so big. And I'm going to show you. Like, can you see how this thing is like totally flopped wide open, laying everywhere? It doesn't look nice like that. But those flowers are so pretty that I'm like, whatever. It's in the back. It doesn't matter that the plant flops. It's trying to start over again there in the middle. So if we had a long enough season, I could get a second flush of blooms, but that is not going to happen here in Michigan. In the back, we've got the hardy hibiscus still trying to bloom. There's two of them there. Incredible hydrangea. This thing's a monster. This is one plant, and it's probably 8 to 10 foot wide and about 4 foot tall. So that thing really is huge. Bobo, another Bobo. So I don't know if you want to take a guess, how many Bobo have I mentioned in my video here? I'll post it in the comments when some of you start guessing how many Bobo are in my yard. I don't have a lot of repetition of plants, but Bobo is definitely one that there are several in the garden. This area here, not a whole lot going on, just kind of not much, although let's take a look here. My Rigucci clematis is still flowering. That's impressive. That looks pretty. Senorita Rosalita, the Cleome, that's looking really nice in this spot yet. This is Allium Millennium, done, but kind of some neat texture. This area just looks like a jungle. There's in the back is the Fine Line Rhamnus with Baptisia and Spirea. I'm starting to get rained on. Another Proudberry bush. Really pretty. Some Coleus here, that's still looking pretty nice. Got Hibiscus, another Hibiscus that's given a few late summer blooms. We'll take them. This is a popcorn plant. So if you've never heard of a popcorn plant before, this thing is doing amazing. It's taller than me, so it's probably about 6 foot tall. And this is a great plant if you have kids or grandkids. You rub the leaves and it smells like buttered popcorn. It's kind of like one of the craziest plants in the garden, but it's so fun. So look at that sky. It is looking a little bit scary out here. Not really scary, but I'm gonna get dumped on with rain here any minute. So, all right, we're gonna be cutting to the chase. We're almost to the end anyways. So one thing you'll notice, the pool is gone. That thing went green and I was done with it. Also the planters around the pool, the palm trees are looking a little yellow, not so great. The plants in there definitely need to get pulled out. So they did really well this summer. I was pretty impressed with the planters, and I was really happy with how they did. So they did well, and it's okay. They can be done now that it's the end of the summer. So we've got the Wine and Roses Woodula, which is great foliage. Blooms in the spring, but nice foliage this time of year. This is an old sedum. I don't even know. I think it's Autumn Joy. Pretty, but it's a flopper, so I need something shorter. And the Limelight Hydrangea looks really pretty. We'll get this direction on it here, and you can see beautiful large blooms. This is probably about 8 foot tall, and it was beautiful white, and now then it went to its dusty rose, and now it's kind of definitely like its fall, way past blue, way past prime color. But I do like it from a distance. I mean, the flowers still look pretty cool, and the texture it gives in the garden, that's really nice. This is our last little batch here. This is annuals, and again, for the end of September, they're holding out really nice. I mean, we'll get a frost and this area will be not looking so great, but for now it's still good. We've got the Wicked Witch Coleus with the icicles, and then the sedum. Do you hear the rain? I'm getting poured on right now. There is Prince Tut, and then we repeated it over there. So this is what we got going on. Rain, rain, go away. I did figure I'd make it through this video without getting wet, and it's happening right now. I'm getting poured on. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. And like I said, I'm hoping this isn't the last one, but being the end of September, there's a good chance that we're gonna get frost here soon, and it's just going to be, garden's gonna go brown here soon. So hopefully you enjoyed my videos throughout the summer. If this is the first one you're watching, be sure to check out the YouTube channel and check out the July and August videos so you can see just how the garden changed throughout the summer. And again, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And until we see you again soon at the next video, this is Heidi getting soaked from Garden Crossings.